ભગવાનના અસીમ જય જયકાર હો.
દાદા 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 ભગવાનના અસીમ જય જયકાર હો.
ભગવાનના અસીમ જય જયકાર હો.
દાદા 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 ભગવાનના અસીમ જય જય. કન્ટિન્યુ રાખજો, મારે એક ફોન
હા,
કરવાનો.
દાદા ભગવાનના
ઓ
અસીમ જય જયકાર હો. દાદા ભગવાનના 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 असीम जय जयकार हो। दादा भगवान ना असीम जय जयकार हो। दादा भगवान
જય
ना
સચિદાનંદ, તમે આવો છો?
असीम जय जयकार हो।
ના,
દાદા ભગવાન ના
આઈ ડોન્ટ નો, તમારું
અસીમ
નામ
જય
હતું એટલે આઈ ડોન્ટ નો કે
જયકાર હો।
દીપકાંતજી નહીં કહ્યું એમ.
દાદા ભગવાન ના અસીમ જય
ઓકે
જયકાર
ઓકે,
હો।
હજી પબ્લિક આવી નથી
દાદા
એટલે હું પુલિસ કરવા દઉં એમ.
ભગવાન ના અસીમ જય જયકાર હો। દાદા ભગવાન ના असीम जय जयकार हो। कश्यप भाई आप चाहे बोलिए। दादा भगवान ना असीम जय जयकार हो। दादा भगवान ना असीम जय जयकार हो। ललिता जी आप बोलिए। दादा भगवान ना असीम जय जयकार हो। 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 ललिता जी बोलिए।
I
दादा
can't
भगवान
unmute my. Oh, there it is. Sorry. दादा भगवान ना असीम जय जयकार हो।
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 દાદા ભગવાનના અસીમ જય જયકાર હો.
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 દાદા ભગવાનના અસીમ જય જયકાર હો. Yes.
જય સચ્ચિદાનંદ શૈલેષાનંદજી.
જય સચ્ચિદાનંદ.
Shaileshanandji?
Yes, actually.
Okay. When you are set, the mantra bulaiye, please.
Namo Vitragaya,
નમો
નમો
વિતરાગાય.
વિતરાગાય.
Namo Arihantanam,
નમો
નમો
અરિહંતાણમ.
અરિહંતાણમ.
Namo Siddhanam,
નમો
નમો
સિદ્ધાણમ.
સિદ્ધાણમ.
Namo Ayarihanam,
નમો
નમો
આયરિયાણમ.
Namo,
આર્યપ્રિયાણમ.
Namo Vajjayanam,
નમો
નમો
વજ્જાયાણમ.
નારાયણમ.
Namo Loe Savasahanam,
નમો
નમો
લોય
લોય
સવ સાહુણમ.
સાહુણમ.
Eso Panchanamukaro,
એસો
એસો
પંચનમુક્તારો.
Savapava Pranasam,
સર્વપાવ નાશનમ.
Mangalanancha Sauvesim,
મંગળાનમ ચ સવ્વેસમ.
Padmam Havai Mangalam,
પરમં હવૈ મંગળમ.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya,
ઓમ નમો
નમો
ભગવતે
ભગવતે
વાસુદેવાય.
વાસુદેવાય.
Om Namah Shivaya,
ઓમ નમઃ
ઓમ
શિવાય.
નમઃ શિવાય.
Jai Satchidanand.
જય
જય
સચ્ચિદાનંદ.
Jai Sachidanand. Thank you, Shaileshanandji, for coming last minute. Okay.
સંભળાતો નથી તમારો અવાજ મને.
નથી સંભળાતો?
વેરી
હવે?
ફેન્ટ, ફીબલ.
Okay. How about now?
યા બેટર.
Okay, now I cannot hear you. Okay, I'll have to do something else.
વોટ હેપન? આઈ એમ ફૂલ.
Okay, can you hear me?
યસ.
Okay. Okay. Mahatma, last Sunday we left to see if we can do some experiment on world is my own reflection, I am in others. Any feedback? Anybody did an experiment? No? Okay. Okay. Keshabai, your question?
Yeah, I have a question. Can I share the screen?
Yeah.
Jai Sachidan, everyone. Jai Sachidan, Rajniji, Jai Sachidan,
Jai
Shaileshanandji.
Sachidan.
Just one. This Sutra 668, what is considered as Vishayo, it is that which is prevalence in the mind body, as means speech body, ekakar panu, and if one does not become one in the mind body speech, that is nirvishay. What is referred to as vishay, in whatever matters the mind becomes delighted, that is vishay. In anything the mind sees, intellect, in a comfort of vision and knowledge, and ego become engrossed, tanmayaka, that is vishay. Wherever a person becomes ekakar with the object of pleasure, that is vishay. So now I want to understand here that vishay means anything where Chitt is involved, or all the internal organs, they get engrossed.
Mainly it is the Chitt which gets caught up, I would say. Involved, so Chitt also gets involved in disposing files amicably with equanimity. Chitt also gets involved into Charan Vidhi and many, many things. So wherever the Chitt is caught up, or the Chitt is what you can say is influenced by the Mohaniya, it is known as the Vishay. So rest of the things it just goes with, but it's not really. And the Tanmayakar and Nirtanmayakar is the ultimate Jnana language, that if I become Tanmayakar, one with my relative inner self, that itself is the giving fuel to Vishay. And if I remain Nirtanmayakar, or keeps away as my Shuddhatma, separate from the relative inner self, that leads to Nirvishay state, or it's a tool for getting into Nirvishay.
Primarily, Chitt is
Yeah,
engrossed.
it is Chitt. So ગુજરાતીમાં એવું છે, it's દાદાનું ઓરિજિનલ સૂત્ર ગુજરાતી છે કે ચિત્તને ડગાવે એ બધા વિષયો. One which makes the Chitt unsteady and caught up. એટલે ચિત્તને ડગાવે તે બધા વિષયો, ઓરિજિનલ સેન્ટેન્સ એવું છે. I'm not aware who has translated this, and unfortunately, while translating into English language, so many things get changed.
Actually, this is directly from Gujarati only. I will show you the Gujarati also.
Yeah, you can better. If you can show me Gujarati, it will be better.
Yeah, I will show you, but let me ask. Sorry?
કારણ કે શૈલેષાનંદ આવ્યા જ નહીં. 45 મિનિટ્સ મને બોલાવડા.
Yeah, I will ask you the rest of the docs, then I will show you. What counts as Vishay? It is when one likes it in the beginning and when likes it even the end, that is Vishay. Vishay is not thing, it is rather a force of Parmanu. In the beginning and in the end, that is called Vishay. That please explain.
I don't think that this is directly all the language. I think somebody has expanded based on the understanding. I would be interested if really these are the Dadaji's original words.
No, actually, this is the English one. I will show you the Gujarati also. It is the
No,
same.
but even if the Apta Sutra is there, it will be 2 to 3 sentences. All this rest seems to be the description, expanded description. And I would be interested to see who has really expanded on it.
This is from Dada Vani, January 19th. This is the English one version. Same is in the Gujarati version also. With Dadaji.
Here, if you see the break, I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, I will show you. Okay, just a minute. I will ask the doubts. Then I will show you the Gujarati also. Same it is. Vishay in which no attention is placed. It is there is no lakshya at all. It is called nirvishaya. Okay, I will show you the Gujarati. In the meantime, the other person can ask uh, the doubts, and I will bring it and show you. Thank you. Jai Sachidanand.
Okay, we'll come back to you. Vaishali Ben?
Jai Sachidanand.
Jai Sachidanand, Shaileshanandji, Jai Sachidanand, Ragni uncle, Jai Sachidanand.
Jai
uncle.
Sachidanand.
My question, Shaileshanandji, is somewhere in the satsang I've heard that Jagruti no marg, bhavukta no nahi.
Sorry, Jagruti.
Jagruti no marg, bhavukta no nathi. Bhavukta no
What?
nahi. So
Bhavukta?
bhavukta.
Bhavukta, ha.
Right.
Okay.
So I'm trying to understand that in English, how would I explain that to myself? Like,
What I feel is that Dadaji used to say that there is a difference between Mahatma and a Bhakta. So Bhakta are usually lost in one corner. They are so much so engrossed in one corner that the other corners are missed or less taken care of. And the people will complain also. For example, Narsi Mehta, when he was a Bhakta, he used to so much got engrossed into his bhakti that he used to forget the household things and whatever his wife even has told him to bring and other things. Whereas the Mahatmas are Jagrat in all fields. So they are not emotionally engrossed into one corner. So Bhaktas are emotionally engrossed into one corner of bhakti, devotional worship only, and they are not aware about the other relative responsibilities, I would say. Whereas Mahatmas are not so emotionally caught up into one corner, even if it is Dada Bhagwan's bhakti, but are supposed to be in motion, balanced, and taking care of all the aspects of relative files or duties.
right.
So that is why Dadaji said that if you are doing Shuddhatma or Shuddhatma Bhakti or whatever thing, and if some file comes, you first attend the file, then come back to your Bhakti or Shuddhatma. That's very precisely what Dadaji wanted us to say, that your relative files or circumstances are important and you need to deal with them in Jagruti, with Jagruti. So Bhavukta, here the word is used in the meaning of emotional engrossment or emotional getting caught up into one corner.
Right. So am I understanding this correctly that Jagruti or awareness or Gnan, living in that means that having a clear understanding of the circumstances and not reacting from the place of emotions? Is that correct?
Yeah, partly correct.
Partly.
Partly correct. Means what he's saying is Bhavukta. Bhavukta, he says, see, once I like the satsang, once I'm convicted that, oh, these are the things for my life or this is the way to go, then I start disliking or getting less interested into all other relative duties or the work or whatever I have created beforehand, which is now in front of me. So that is known as bhavukta. Means if I'm doing satsang or pada or bhakti, and if somebody comes and, oh, please, I'll see later on. What do we say? Please leave me alone. Please allow me to have my own time right now. I'll come back to you later on. And that person says what he or she is doing. What is the work he or she is? Why not attending me? Something like that. So putting aside or pushing aside the relative things on hand and trying to get involved into one thing, that is known as bhavukta. So here Jagruti means even though it is fifth agnya, Shuddhatmano Chopadam, but the other four agnyas are before the fifth agnya. So seeing relative real, dealing with files amicably with equanimity as and when it comes in priority to our Shuddhatma Bhakti is what he wants to say us. Ki Jagruti means bhavukta no nahi hai. Don't fall into the corner. I'll give you other examples. In presence of Dadaji, the Aptaputras used to bunk the colleges and bunk the jobs and whatnot. So at times Dadaji used to say, he used to allow us only 10-15 minutes in the morning, we'll do the Vidya, then say, go to college. College is important, something like that.
Yeah.
And we were all so lost that, oh, now this is all relative is junk and dump, and what we are ultimately we have to become Aptaputra. So go
Yeah.
behind that. But that's not really the correct thing. That's what we realized, and at
Yeah.
the end.
No, this comes at a really good time for me that I've been feeling like that. If family, extended family wants something, no, from this time to this time is my satsang. Don't bother me, leave me alone. This is,
Please,
but I
please. The
but I
satsang,
understand that,
we
you
have
know,
to we have to leave the satsang and not do the satsang.
yeah,
Living the satsang means whosoever comes in front of us, liked or disliked, whatever by mind, we have to say, oh, this is a file, dispose amicably with equanimity. If
and the
then,
files,
if they
the files
lovingly
get
allow you,
priority, correct?
yeah, means
Yeah.
as and when it comes.
Yes, yes.
That's what Dadaji said, that we are doing satsang or Shuddhatma Bhakti, and if somebody comes, we have to attend that file.
Mhm.
Or request him that if you don't mind, if it's not urgent, can I get back to you within 10-15 minutes? But
Yeah.
most of the times, the other person, even if he says yes, in the bottom of the heart, they feel that why is it so important that she's not attending me right
Right.
now? What's so more important for her that than so something like that.
Yeah, I
So what
get it. So I
happens?
can request, I
The
could
file,
request it that, you
yeah,
know, this is my time frame that's blocked. But if they insist, then go ahead and deal with that first
yeah,
before
yes.
satsang.
Just take care that they are not annoyed at the satsang.
Yes, yes.
We are enjoying at the satsang, but they may get annoyed and they may
Ah.
feel, oh, these are, they are lost in one corner. Bhagat thai gaya છે એમ કહેશું કે
Right, exactly.
બધા ભગત થઈ ગયા છે. That's
Yeah.
what precisely Dada Bhagwan wanted us to understand. That
I have
Mahatma's
one more
vyavhar,
question.
yes, sure, Mahatma's vyavhar would be very good, and it would be what you can say, cooling the other person, soothing the other person's heart also. That's what is our Mahatma Pad. કે આપણા વ્યવહારથી, by our વ્યવહાર, the others are happy and they feel it's hearty. Their heart also gets satisfaction or fulfillment sort of thing. Yeah, please go ahead with the next question.
Yeah, my next question was, I'm sorry, to go back to the other question. I just realized that a lot of times the extended family does feel like, oh, you know, I'll say it in Gujarati that, you know, ito satsang ma bharai jai, savarin bapor
Yes,
sanje.
yes,
And
that's the point which should not be there.
yeah, got it. Okay. That's the satsang. You have to live in satsang, not do satsang. Okay.
Well, do satsang is good, but do
Yeah.
satsang for what purpose? To
Yeah.
live satsang.
You can live satsang.
And,
Whatever.
and to live satsang is without speaking a word of satsang. We can
Mhm.
have inside all the principles working with us. The other person won't know at all. Okay,
Yeah.
he or she is into Dada Bhagwan or satsang or whatever. But we have that relative, real, vyavasthit files, dispose the files amicably with equanimity. All the principles are working within us.
Yeah.
So that's what living the satsang is.
Very nice. The next question I have is that why does, so this is my reaction to a lot of sticky files, certain extended family sticky files. They are just living in their prakriti, but around them, you know, there's this interrogation. What's happening in your life? What are you doing? What are your kids doing? There's constantly this bombarding of questions. So after the interactions, I feel very, how do I say it? Restless. Like their conversations keep reappearing in my head, I keep doing pratikraman, but it doesn't leave my head. So I feel like, what is the root cause of it? Is it because my ego is getting hurt, or why do they keep coming and reappearing? Because I can't make sense of like, oh, I want to try to see my mistake in this interaction, but I can't. So maybe I'm just too sticky with Vaishali. I'm just seeing it as all this is
No,
happening.
no. So there's no mistake as such, obvious mistake on your part. What happens is, in this world, especially the people around us,
Mhm.
they would try to show their wisdom, or they would feel what they feel correct.
Mhm.
They will try to tell to us, especially the so-called elderly people
Mhm.
who are elderly to us in a age.
In
They
age,
feel
right.
that she's getting off track. So
Yeah.
let's advise her, let's suggest
Mhm.
her, let's take care of her. And
Right.
that's how their prakriti will go on pouring the things.
Yeah.
So I would say you tell Vaishali and first you yourself as Antaratma, as a Shuddhatma, that okay, the world will go like that. It's a drama. Everybody will express his or her prakriti. Why are you getting bothered about it? Just keep smiling and go off. So everybody would tell something to us, and you can smilingly go off. Once in a while, you say that okay, thank you for showing your concern. I'll take care. That's
Yeah,
all.
but that kapat part of Vaishali wants to make sure that they understand they're wrong and they never do that again. Like,
No, no, that then you will be frustrated.
yeah.
Vaishali then. Why you will be frustrated? Not because you don't have the power to make them realize, but see, the world is everybody's inner coverings, everybody's Uday Karma, everybody's vision, and everybody's natural destinations are different.
Yeah.
If the nature is making them to still wander for a long time, even Mahavir was not able to change their inner vision. Even Dada Bhagwan was not able to change inner vision of everybody. So the world is like that. How can you lift up the KG or lower KG or first standard child to PhD? Can you?
No.
It takes a while.
Yeah.
So you have to understand, we have to understand this is a natural occurrence. Everybody is at different levels and everybody has a different destinations, what you can say, directions, and that's how their inner self or inner understanding will work out.
Yeah.
So just know that and have the peace that will give peace to you.
Right, right. I also realize that a lot of times when other people make comments about my kids, so me as a mother, I'm emotionally involved with my kids because I think of them as my kids, right? Or ownership of these people that I have.
That's mamta.
Yes. And so then that's when it hurts a little bit more. That's when the
But,
aggression comes inside.
let me put it other way around.
Mhm.
Suppose there is some mad people around
Mhm.
and they make some comments. Would you mind them?
No, because
Why?
they're not in the right senses. They're
Why?
mad.
So everybody is in the same state.
Okay.
Not mad.
You're right, but I
But
understand.
they're not in the state of 360 degree. So why
Yeah.
do you expect that? How can you expect that? Everybody has a limited vision. Somebody is 50 degree, 60 degree, 100 degree, 120 degree, but everybody has their own closed tunnel vision.
Yeah.
A person with broad tunnel will not have any comments like that. So learn to live, learn to realize and learn to live. So Shyadwad is a broadness of vision first, which knows everything in correctness and yet doesn't find a fault with anybody and knows that with what perspective they are correct and with what perspective it is lacking.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah. No, I understand.
So all these our frustrations or inner struggles are due to the reason we are not able to understand the situation involving how the others' machineries are working. How can you expect the others to behave like Dada Bhagwan or Mahavir or sort of faultless or something like that?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
in fact, you have to be empathetic and sympathetic to them that, oh God, within them, show them the good light so they can be happy, really happy, and they can traverse to the path of the permanent happiness.
Yeah. No, this is very good. But one small
If
point.
a doctor gets disturbed by seeing the patient's various illnesses, what will happen to a doctor? He will go mad.
Yeah.
So he has to understand that these are various illnesses and deal with it accordingly.
Yeah. Yeah. But the thing that you talked about KG and PhD and all of that, sometimes what happens is in trying to soothe the ego, there is a sense of spiritual superiority. I don't know if I'm explaining that correctly or not, but
I understood what you're
and
trying
I
to say.
don't want to be that way. I want to see them as equal. I don't want to see that, oh, they're just in KG, I'm so advanced. I know stuff.
No. The idea of, see, equal is when you see relative and real Shuddhatma into them,
Mhm.
the inequality will go away.
Oh, yes.
Relatively, everybody cannot be equal.
Yeah.
And KG, PGs or PhDs to make the things understood that even Lord said that if you group the similar beliefs and similar understanding people into one layer, there are
Right.
14 lakhs of layers of human beings, 14 lakhs of layers.
Mhm.
So there are different strata depending on the inner development, inner understanding, inner vision, whatever, beliefs and other things. So
Right.
how can you consider 14 lakh stratas as equal? From the relative perspective, no. Equality means knowing them, acknowledging them, not confronting or not considering them, because they are all the natural flow,
Yeah.
and seeing the Shuddhatma into them.
Yes.
So that's where, and spiritual superiority is our ego which tries to take some taste of it. Otherwise, Shuddhatma removes all egos.
Yeah.
So that is how
Sometimes
Dadaji was smallest of small, humblest of humble. Dadaji was Lagutam in relative, and real was Aguru Laghu. So how could he become free of the spiritual superiority? Inside was the Chaudlokna Nath.
yeah.
Outside he was the humblest of humble and smallest of small.
Yeah.
So real spirituality will make you humblest or smallest of small in the relative. I hope you are getting me.
No, I completely understand, but I sometimes feel like it's really simple that the five agnas, or who should
Yes.
that matter, if I remain in that space, the
Ways
rest
is
that my
yes.
buddhi tries to make sense of all of these things aren't really
All the
that.
puzzles will go away. So first come to Shuddhatma and then ask whatever you want to ask.
I
That's
think
fine.
that I should just see the world through that filter. First, it's who should that matter, and then the
Yes.
rest will make sense. Yeah.
Yes. And relative and real, Shuddhatma and everybody. Yes, Lalita ji.
Hey, Satchidanand, thank you.
Jai Satchidanand.
Jai Sachidanand. Shaileshanandji, I came across a very unique description of science per Dada.
Yes.
It says here, Vijnan means with just knowing one can be liberated. One does not have to do anything. Whatever is outside is Jnana, and that knowledge is not Kriyakari, whereas this is Vijnan and it is Kriyakari. You attain the science of Akram, it will continue to work on its own from within. And it does Shuddh Kriya. So he says this is a different science, it is Akram Vijnan. So, I had a very, what should I say, gross understanding of science. But Dada says, like once you set the ball rolling, you'll get a result, which is Keval Jnan. Whereas the outside sciences, they don't end in Keval Jnan, but they do give you some results. Correct?
Yeah, so
So,
there are two types of things. One is relative sciences, we can say,
mhm,
relative sciences.
mhm,
That includes everything,
mhm,
material science as well as science of living beings in terms of relative, where psychology, psychiatry,
mhm,
medicine, physiology, anatomy, everything comes.
mhm.
Not necessarily it is only atoms and molecules or
Not, mhm,
inanimate things. It
correct.
includes inanimate as well as animate, everything, but the relative sciences, we put it like
Okay.
that. And the other is the science which has talks of both relative as well as real, especially real.
Mhm,
It's not only real, but relative in context to real with a
mhm,
main focus on real.
mhm,
So this Akram Vignan is focusing mainly there. That is one thing. Second thing, in
mhm,
a step-by-step path, or if
mhm,
we see the outside scriptures or the teachings or
mhm,
preaching, what has happened at the present moment is they are working at a relative level only.
mhm,
Because in absence of a living person who has the experience of real, nobody can really come into real.
Mm-hmm.
So even though the sciences which were taught by the people who had the experience of real, in
Mm-hmm.
those times it used to work. But
Mm-hmm.
after some time it becomes just the relative.
Okay.
Maybe even Gita, maybe even Agams
Mm-hmm.
or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is no person who can open out your inner real vision. Whatever you understand, whatever you try to do, whatever you, even to best of your sincerity and
Mm-hmm.
efforts, culminates only into relative, Prakriti Dharma.
Okay. See, that
This
is
is
such
the,
such
huh.
a
So these two,
very subtle and deep difference.
yes. But because Dadaji could open out, open our inner real vision, we can
Mm-hmm.
put us into the real,
Mm-hmm.
the whole things changed. So there are two things as I understand. One is, as I said, the relative sciences, the sciences outside,
Mm-hmm.
they work at the relative levels.
Mm-hmm.
And the science which tries to talk about both relative and real Atma and Prakriti,
Mm-hmm.
also, unless the inner real vision is
Mm-hmm.
opened up.
Mm-hmm.
See, Arjuna was in front of Krishna.
Mm-hmm.
Krishna was talking everything, truth, relative and real, because he had that experience. But till even then, Arjuna was not getting to the core of the being. So then
Correct.
he showers the graces, shatters the avran, and
Mm-hmm.
then Arjuna could realize or get convicted about, or inner real vision was opened out.
Yes.
So that's the crux of the story, that unless the inner real vision is opened out,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't start as a Swayam Kriyakari Gyan.
Oh, okay.
And one more thing here, Akram,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
means by his grace,
Mm-hmm.
by his divine experiment,
Mm-hmm.
by his divine presence,
Mm-hmm.
despite our mind, body, speech had all the conglomerates and layers of karmas,
Mm-hmm.
he could put us into the experience of the real self or Shuddhatma.
Mm-hmm.
And he made us non-doer
Mm-hmm.
at the level of conviction, belief, or understanding, or whatever you can say.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the two fundamental things,
Mm-hmm.
that I become Shuddhatma, free of the mind, speech, body, name belonging, attachments, and karmic bonds. That's the first pillar. And
Mm-hmm.
second pillar is I as Shuddhatma is non-doer, and
Mm-hmm.
Vyavasthit Shakti is doer. So these two things. Then something more. Because he could open out, shattered the our layers and could open out this, the pragna developed, which
Correct.
started functioning
Mm-hmm.
all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That is what makes it Swayam Kriyakari Jnana. So
Mm-hmm.
not only Shuddhatma, not only Vyavasthit Shakti, not only I'm non-doer, but the pragna which gets opened out along with takes
Mm-hmm.
care of this seedling
Mm-hmm.
to reach to the full moon state. So that's the pragna which all the while functions as a Swayam Kriyakari Jnana. So these, I think, these are the three things which, when he says Akram,
Mm-hmm.
these are the three things which has happened for the Mahatma, which has made all the difference.
Yes, that was nice. The other thing is our current Purusha
Yes.
is, the world's a reflection of yourself. I'm hitting a stumbling block. I understand, yes, the Shuddhatma and everything they're saying is actually echo of myself, or echoes of my words or my actions. That's my stumbling block. I can't see that. I just stop right there and I see the differences. You and I are not the same.
Yeah.
So how do I transcend that?
So last time we touched upon that, or some other satsang, that relative and real.
Mm-hmm.
So by real, I am Shuddhatma. By real, you are also Shuddhatma. Relative and real, you are
Mm-hmm.
also Shuddhatma.
Mm-hmm.
So that is how we are one.
Mm-hmm.
How are we one, or reflection in a relative aspect?
Mm-hmm.
That's the second thing.
Mm-hmm.
What you are saying is you as a your relative is a total,
Mm-hmm.
and my relative is a total. are not same, never going to be same.
Correct.
What is reflection is in two ways to me. At a relative level, I'm talking. There are two folds. One, where I'm coming across to someone where I have some runanubandh, interconnectivity, some vyavhar. See, there are so many people where we don't have vyavhar. In a flight, we don't have
Exactly.
vyavhar with all the travelers.
Exactly.
In the world, we don't have connectivity or vyavhar. We have vyavhar with certain number of files. Word means files, good or bad, whatever. But we have interconnective vyavhar with certain number of files only in this 7 abaj or whatever million you said. We have, Dadaji said, you are bound by small number of files where we have interconnectivity. So in that interconnectivity, how is it my reflection or how something like that? So I see two ways. Number one, see, if I go back and see my whole life and whom I have got connected or how the people have connected to me, and I can see that, oh, this is what I have brought atoms and molecules or the way my prakriti or way my thinking or bringing, usually they get around me in a longer runanubandh level. So this is how it may be my reflection, means my bhavna or my asking. A simple example, we Mahatmas were not knowing each other anyway by worldly relations. But who brought us together and it became a real family?
Yes.
So how our reflection, that getting to satsang, getting to some pure thing and getting to so this common bhav, common reflection brought us all together.
Yes.
Adai Parivar.
Yes.
So reflection talks on a subtle level about our bhav, our inner cherished input into the nature. Some similarly, second example, I had just put one bhav of being a doctor. I was not knowing who will be my professors, who will be my colleagues, friends, future patients, nurses, staffs, and I didn't have any idea. But based on my one reflection that I want to become something like a doctor, I can be useful or helpful to something like that. This is how all the events came around me in my world life. Third thing, you and me have a different personality totally.
Exactly.
But when we are interacting with each other, it's based on our beliefs and our sort of things. You won't behave similarly with different people. I won't believe similarly with different people. So it's based on my reflection or understanding or interconnectivity that we are doing. More important than that, how I see interconnectivity or my reflection is, these are the events based, I told you. But more than that, what is my perception, what is my belief, how I take it, how I look at Lalita ji. Everybody will look differently to Lalita ji. So that is where it is my reflection, means my beliefs, my mirror, my vision through which I'm looking at you. And more important than that, before my mind, speech, and body gross to subtle gives you happiness, it makes me happy. Because before it shares or shades or expresses opinion, I am getting affected first. So that is how we are interconnected, or the world is my own reflection. And the ultimate example, Lord Krishna told Yudhishthir that go in the town and find out one bad person. There are many. Yudhishthir went around the whole town and said, so Lord, sorry, I can't find any bad person. And he said, Duryodhan. Then he said, Duryodhan, you go around the town and find at least one good person. There are many good people. Duryodhan moved around. Lord, sorry, I can't find any good person. So you look the world through your reflections, means your perceptions.
That's a very good example. Yes, correct.
Your perceptions, your beliefs, your designs, whatever you name it. So there are several aspects about the relative reflections, because real is real. Real has nothing to reflect. Real has to just see the Shuddhatma, be Shuddhatma, and see the Shuddhatma.
Yes, absolutely.
And there is no puzzle into that. But relative, because I'm looking through my mirrors and because I'm getting affected first, and the way I'm coming into interaction with the different people is how it is I have reflected. And the
Okay.
simple example is look around you in a family or everywhere or wherever. Each individual to individual dealings are different.
Yes, absolutely.
Because that's how the reflections are working.
Okay, that was a very nice detailed example. Thank you. Thank you. Jai Sachidanand. Jai
Jai
Sachidanand.
Sachidanand. Kashyap bhai?
Yes, Jai Sachidanand. I will share the
Okay.
this came on the WhatsApp. This is actually I saw in the list of the Apsutras also. It is the same. વિષય કોનો કહેવાય જેમાં મન વચન કાયાનું એકાકારપણું થાય છે અને મન વચન કાયામાં એકાકાર ના થયો તે નિર્વિષય. This is 668 Apsutra.
So here there are two things. Yes. હવે મન વચન કાયામાં એકાકાર ના થયો that means નિર્તન્મય. હું શુદ્ધાત્મામાં રહું છું તો હું નિર્વિષય છું. જો શુદ્ધાત્મામાં નથી રહેતો અને પ્રકૃતિ મન વચન કાયા જે હોય તેમાં તન્મયાકાર થઉં છું તો શુદ્ધાત્માની સામેના છેડે શું છે તો કે વિષય છે એમ. કારણ કે ચિત્ત અશુદ્ધમાં તન્મય થયું. શું થયું આમાં પણ મૂળ તો શુદ્ધાત્મા એ શું છે તો કે શુદ્ધ ચિત્ત, શુદ્ધ જ્ઞાન અને શુદ્ધ દર્શન. એમાં જો હું રહ્યો નિર્તન્મય પણ એટલે શુદ્ધ જ્ઞાન દર્શન એટલે શુદ્ધ ચિત્ત રહ્યું તો નિર્વિષય. પેલું અશુદ્ધ થયું તો વિષય એમ. એ લેવલ ઉપર આ વાત કરી છે. અને પ્રાઇમરી વાત એ છે કે ચિત્તને ડગાવે તે બધા વિષય. એ પછી મન વચન અને કાયા એકાકાર મીન્સ એમાં તન્મય થાય પણ ખરા ના પણ થાય. ઘણીવાર ચિત્ત એકલું જ ફસાયેલું હોય, કાયા કશું જુદું કરતું હોય અને ચિત્ત કશું જુદે કરતું હોય. કાયા પરથી ખબર પણ ના પડે કે આ વિષયમાં છે. પણ યસ, when it goes to the extreme, all the things get involved. For example, simple example, suppose we are sitting, we are doing something in house, પણ આપણું ચિત્ત વિષયમાં ફસાયેલું હોય. And the extreme and the example Dadaji himself gave, that once a Sheth was doing Samayik, Sethani was working outside, and somebody like Rajini Bhai came and asked about the Sheth, that where is the Sheth? So Sethani said the Sheth has gone to Harijanvas. And the Sheth was doing Samayik inside. He heard it and realized that, oh, Sethani told the truth. My Kaya's action is doing Samayik, but my Chitt is caught into Vishay. So this, from that you understand. But when it goes to extreme, suppose it for us, a Brahmacharya Vishay starts at the level of Chitt and then at the level of, see, I get stuck, so Chitt gets stuck. Then the minds will show the notes. And then when it goes to extreme, when we don't withdraw ourselves, we don't are jagged. When it goes to extreme, then even everything gets involved into the actual act of sex or vishay, man, vachan, kaya, all get involved into that. But initially, all are not involved. Initially, it is Chitt, then supported by mind. Even the speech doesn't talk of that thing. It's only when it goes to the full extreme state that all of them gets involved.
And it
But
says the second part, man vachan kaya ekakar na thayo te
yes,
nirvishay.
that is what you remain as Shuddhatma. That's what I told first. That you do, see, only mind or only Ashuddha Chit cannot drag us unless we get entangled. તન્મયાકાર થઈએ તો જ બધું આગળ વધે. આપણે જો શુદ્ધાત્મા રહ્યા અને શુદ્ધાત્મા થઈને જોયું અંતસ્કરણને એટલે ત્યાં ઓગળી જાય છે. એ લેવલની વાત છે.
So we can remain separate from the Ashuddha Chit also. That is what.
Yes, of course. And you have to remain like that. When the Shuddha Chit looks at Ashuddha Chit, the Ashuddha gets back and gets purified. It becomes the Shuddha Chit. That's the experiment. It is
Now,
Ashuddha.
Yeah. So that is that what I showed you was explanation which Dadaji means this Dada one is saying that this explanation given, further explanation given about the sutra
Yes.
by
Yes.
Dadaji. So so that got the doubt. One doubt you have cleared about the ekakar of the man, buddhi and kaya. Okay.
If
And
you go lower down,
yeah.
there is explanation. વિષયોના વિચાર આવે, સ્વાભાવિક છે. પરમાણુનું ગલન છે, પૂર્વે કરેલા પરમાણુનું ગલન છે, પણ તેમાં તો તન્મયાકાર થયો ટેસ્ટ લાગ્યો એટલે સ્વાદ લીધો તે વિષય છે. So that is ashuddha chit. When you get tanmay akar, it becomes ashuddha chit.
Yeah. Okay. And then the next one, Vishay Shanu Nam Ganaye, beginning Mae Game and end Mae Game Eno Nam Vishay. Vishay e Vastu Nati Pan. Eto Parmanu force, the same thing which I was asking you.
Yeah. એ નીચે લખે છે કે તું તન્મયાકાર થયો એટલો જ વિષય છે. નીચે આવે જ છે કે જે ગલન થાય ત્યારે પાછો તું તેટલો જ તન્મયાકાર થાય તે વિષય છે. પછી ગમે તે સબ્જેક્ટ હોય એમાં રચ્યો પચ્યો રહે તે બધા જ વિષય છે. In short,
what about the beginning and the end? I didn't understand that thing.
Even I don't understand that, because routinely the vishay is such that initially you get interested, you like it, at the end really it gives you the sorrowful feeling in a world.
Okay. And one more thing, the વિષયો માં ધ્યાન ના હોય, બિલકુલ અક્ષ ના હોય, એનું નામ નિર્વિષય વિષય. What is it saying?
Yeah, means in a worldly circumstances, it's something like that. See, let me give you the example. About Janak Videhi, the story goes like that there were all the things going around him, dances and Raj, whatever kingdom things and other things. So Astavakra or somebody goes that how can this Raja be Gnani within all these things? And then he's made to realize that no, despite all these things, his Chitt is not into that. His Chitt is really in Shuddhatma. So that is how that is nirvishay vishay, or one can remain free of vishay. So vishays are objects or the things around it. So that is the external nimit are only. Unless my Chitt gets lost into that, it is not a vishay.
Okay. And last one regarding today's Apsutra, which came Astri che Jue se Purush Purush the Jue to Stri Bhokte Nirogi Thaya. There's one explanation which is Jagat Aku viewpoint thi Jue Jare Gyani age full view drishti thi Jue. What is the meaning of full drishti, Poon drishti, Gyan? What is the Gyani's full complete drishti? I didn't understand. Can you please explain?
So the first is see, when we happen to look at any stree or ladies as a male, our Chitt gets stuck up there. We can't see Shuddhatma very readily or easily unless we put the upयोग. Why? Because there is Mohaniya and our, so Chitt gets stuck there. We have to move away from that, and later on we can see Shuddhatma, if at all. Most of the times it goes just like that without seeing the Shuddhatma. Similar is the truth for females or ladies. When they look at the males, their Chitt also gets stuck into the avastha or relative only and can't see the Shuddhatma. So then he says that this is Parmanu's attraction. And pachi su thai? Okay, it leads to the whole chain of events, causes and effects, everything. So viewpoint means limited view, that I see only as a female or I see only as a male. But Gnani sees with a full drashti, means first he sees with relative and real, that these are the phases of relative and real is Shuddhatma. So first he looks at Shuddhatma, and for the relative phases he can see everything from childhood to the old age. How if one perceives the old age, everything as a wrinkles and the whole body is stinging and there may be pus and tumors at different places, or even in 3 vision, if you look inside, what is there? You would just vomit it out. So when you see with a full vision of relative, that is all phases as well as relative and real Shuddhatma, then this Mohaniya will get vanished. Otherwise, you can't get free of this Mohaniya. That's what Dadaji wants to say us.
Yeah, correct. I understood. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, Jai Sachidanand. Miraben?
Jai Sachidanand, Shaileshanandji, Jai Sachidanand, Rajikaka, Jai Sachidanand Mahatmas. I'm not putting on my video, so but I wanted to just say thank you, so today's satsang based on Vaishali Ben, Kashyap Bhai, and Lali Aunty is basically that we have given this interim state. We are going through, but Vivasthit, we have to make sure that we know that we are Shuddhatma, as you mentioned, number one, separate from mind, speech, body. But number two, anything that happens to in Vivasthit. So if I am doing satsang, Meera is doing satsang, Meera is sitting and reading Charan Vidhi and doing Asim Jai Jaikar Ho, that is part of Vivasthit. At that time, if my husband comes and says, "Can you make me a cup of chai?" that is also Vivasthit. And I should just, Meera should immediately only be in that pure soul vision to say both are correct and both. I have to not, Meera should not be suddenly thinking, ayo, like Vaishali Ben was saying, ayo, why am I wanted to do satsang. I'm like sitting here. Why am I making chai now? This is ridiculous. Instead,
Go and make tea smilingly.
Correct. Yes.
Because there
Yes.
is Shuddhatma in your husband also. So see
Yes.
Shuddhatma, ask Meera to go and make the tea smilingly.
Yes.
And ask the husband that, are you all right? Are you happy? Should I make you something more?
Yes.
Or is it okay?
And in that also, Jai Sachidan Shaileshanandji, in that, thank you, because in that also, that is what the actual understanding is. He is Shuddhatma,
Relative
Vivasthit is
real
as
Shuddhatma.
relative real. And the concept of me seeing Meera in him is that he is Shuddhatma by the relative real, of course, the two Agnyas, but just that every step of the way, I should be only having this understanding and knowing. The seeing and knowing was what I had a big concept of not understanding that simple statement of what is seeing and what is knowing. And even though the knowing will be Keval Nyan and knowing is ultimate Keval Nyan, in this interim state, Meera can only have full faith in that this Vivasthit will take this body through all of the paths that have to happen, but Shuddhatma has to remain centered and seeing everything. I just wanted to clarify that in my head, because that even verbalizing this with your grace is like a very like a rock has been dropped or a thunderbolt is striking me. So Jai Sachidanand.
One more thing, if we go a little more onto that only. See, when Meera is doing satsang, Meeraben is doing satsang and husband is coming, and you understood that, okay, let me go and make the tea, and that's smilingly. Now there is one aspect. We have the opportunity to look at the Prakriti of file 1. That Prakriti likes, what Prakriti doesn't like. So that up also dissolving our Prakriti also there. Then only you can go and make the tea smilingly, because that is oneness or Shuddha Prem. So saying relative real Shuddhatma and I am Shuddhatma and whatever has come, because that's you are not obliging your husband. Actually, you are obliging your own self there.
Yes.
You have been becoming nicer to your own self, and you have the opportunity to look at your Prakriti and either do the penance stuff with the Prakriti, or either the Prakriti gets dissolved or becomes according to Jnana, or gets driven by the Jnana light.
Okay. Oh, that is beautiful. Jai Sachidanand. And I have to go make chai soon. That is why I'm saying all this. Because
So the bottom line is, even though there are outside files, actually we are working with file 1. It is ultimately the Sambhavti Nikal of file 1 only.
Sambhav Nikal of file 1 only. I will write all of this down.
Ultimately. Because what are the likes and dislikes of file 1, what the file 1 gets happy and unhappy about it, what file 1 wants and doesn't want, what the file 1 is opinions. Ultimately, we are working with that, and the prajna is explaining file 1 and Pragna is purifying file 1 and whatever you can say.
And removing that sense of doership, because it is not
Whatever.
this body at all. Correct. Correct. Oh, Jai Satchidanand Shaileshanandji, thank you so much.
Yes.
Jai
Miraben,
Body
thank
will
you
also
for,
say that मैंने चाय बना के दिया हाँ आपको.
Correct, correct. True. That is true, but it is not. It is not.
And it goes further to say that मैं सत्संग कर रही थी फिर भी उठ के चाय बना के दिया. लेकिन मैं एडजस्ट हो गई. मैंने सत्संग पचाया.
Yes. Oh,
So,
that is so. Oh my goodness, so many layers. So it goes deep, deep, deep. That is true. Okay, so okay.
Mahatmas tell each other that I adjusted, huh? I adjusted.
That's, but that is true also. Even that
Anyway,
small
this is,
ego is there. That's true.
yeah.
Oh my
So,
goodness. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Yes. Thunderbolt
Yeah.
again. Thank you.
thank
Jai
you,
Satchidanand.
Miraben, for summarizing it and
yeah, please.
Shaileshanandji adding that. So I think for next week, it'll be nice if we can do looking at Sambhava and Nikal and looking at our own Prakriti and inside reaction, right? That would be
Yes.
a good one to stay. Okay, Matmao?
Yep.
Miraben, you have good handle on that. So we'll see how you experiment.
And someone told that I came late, but sorry, I was really not knowing that today it has been allotted to me. There has been some changes in the system. So Aptaputra group was not showing anything. Probably Deepakanandji has changed something. And there, of course, there is no system of direct information, but we have to look at whether something is given. And Aptaputra group was not showing anything. So sorry for that.
No, appreciate you were free. That's a good point. That's
It was
and
one was having some other work was doing, but then said, okay, that can be done later on. And okay,
you did the Sambhava and Nikal.
more than that,
I
not
called
really
you, so you were doing
Yes.
something. You say, okay, I'll handle it.
Yeah, I was doing something because I was actually I was doing a difficult task of accounting since the returns and other things are coming. But then, okay, then no, Sambhavti Nikal is all right in a way, but then I felt that no, this is after all fifth Agnya, Shuddhatma's Agnya. So I asked Sailesh, okay, let's do that when it has come. Anyway.
Okay,
So,
very good. Our time is up. So 3 months,
Yeah,
everybody
sure.
please follow.
Sure. Namo Vitragaya.
Namo Vitragaya.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Arihantanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Siddhanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo Ayariyanam.
Namo Vajjayanam.
Namo Vajjayanam.
Namo Loe Sawa Sahanam.
Namo Loe Sava Sahunam.
Eso Panchanamukkaro.
Eso Panchanamukaro.
Sawa Pavapanasano.
Savapavapanasano.
Mangalarancha Savesim.
Mangalanam cha Savesim.
Padamam Havai Mangalam.
Paramam Havai Mangalam.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.
Om Namah Shivaya.